Well, for those who was tired of having a little bit more fan service, I gotta say, this was a chapter that was... it's moving straight in to this new arc. But I do not know the name of this arc yet. This was... how do you say this? It was a warm-hearted chapter, really. We are introduced to that... wizard saint man, the one called Walrot Seeken. And well, do you anybody who have not dropped this series, do you remember that when the Lamia Scales master talked about the four gods of Ishwal, that they weren't even human? Now I'm beginning to think, is that because they aren't human? He's a tree. He's a living tree. Or, well, he has the body of a man. Well, he's body-sized, but he has the appearance of a tree. He tells of a village that has had an ever-burning flame. Why do I get the feeling that that is connected to the dragons somehow? And somehow that one was frozen over. Which is why he is requesting these fairy tale guys. Because... well, Natsu can perhaps melt the ice, and apparently this ice is special. And Grey, who's special in ice well, technically he's only special in ice molding magic, but he knows ice magic is special in this. And then Erza asks something that I think a lot of people asked also when the first chapter came out. Couldn't just a wizard saint do that? Do it by himself? Actually, now when I think about it, didn't I ask that question myself in my previous video? Well, those who have seen it can perhaps answer my question. But then he says a line that I think is extremely well. This may actually shut up some people that complain about Nakama power. Something like, the 10 wizard saints aren't almighty. They're just 10 people chosen by the council. There! We have the answer. The four gods of Ishgwalan. Oh yeah, we get a clue that Ishgwal was the previous name of this continent. They aren't almighty. Except that the power of Nakama power that can defeat anybody who else they are. Now we have a clue. Once they lose a fight, then we'll know they aren't almighty! Come on now! Live it with it, you know? It's not that bad. They are not almighty. And as he said, everyone has something they're good at. Friends and the guild exist to make up for that. That's what he said. That is his line, but I agree with that. He then, his magic is green. His magic is called green magic, and he has the power to grow a forest, I think, or plants, trees, and whatever. And he has been planning that in a desert, and that's where this kingdom or whatever is. Because he saw it was frozen over. For some reason, I also get a feeling that this feels just like a rave for some reason. Because in the ending, once he sends the kids off with a flying tree, he has a flashback on when because he mentioned he was in a guild, but that was 105 years ago. He apparently has sacrificed his human self to live on a little longer. And would you know it? His guild was Fairy Tale. Back when Mavis was the master. And, wait a moment. That guy. Isn't that Hades? Yeah, no, it's Purehito. Back when he was Purehito. It's him. The guy with the eye patch. Then, who's the third guy? I'm gonna go on a limb here and just plain say, maybe that's Makarov, Dreyer's father. Will explain why Purehito always called Makarov a kid, because he practically grew up seeing Makarov or whatever. And well, yeah, even back then, as he said, maybe these youngsters inherited your feelings. I think this was a feel-good chapter. If you did not like all the fan service and all the jokes and all that one, I think you liked this. I mean, we are straight on moving into the next arc. Isn't that amazing? Well, I know a lot of people will get disappointed. And why do I know that? Because you always complain about that. Ain't that right, you know? You are all complaining about one thing or another. And you never really could get satisfied by it, you know. Well, anyway, one chapter left. I'll see you then.